They're killers. Just like this thing says, they are killers. And these people want to repeal these pit bull ban. And we're going to talk a little bit about this repealing of sort of getting to it a little tiny bit. Yeah, another year. It has not been a good year. There is never since the I'll say the age of this dog pushing, this dog propaganda. There's never been a good year for dogs because they're always annoying people, always attacking people, always killing people. There's always problems when it comes to dogs. Always a problem. Year in, year out. But, banning them does nothing. Ignoring the problem does nothing. There needs to be a hatred toward these things. And there's some people who are anti-dog that don't really hate dogs. They don't have that energy to really have hatred towards them. And I'm sorry, but that's a problem. I mean, you have to have some hatred toward these things. If you don't, this is what we get. It's probably one of my favorite sites. Unfortunately, it's an American database. It doesn't speak for all countries, but I like it. It's very simple, direct. This is what I want. Hard to find this for Canada or something worldwide, or even for like the UK, but nevertheless. These are the recorded pit bull attacks. So I guess they're affiliated with dogbite.org, perhaps. But nevertheless, and one thing that I'm sorry. One thing that really irks me is these attacks have been happening since the 1800s, and I always put a highlight on that. Because back then, I don't think they were saying blame the owner. I don't think they were saying blame the owner. They didn't have these narcissistic excuses regarding these dogs or pit bulls. First recorded was in 1833 in Pennsylvania. An infant first recorded. So these dogs have been killing for a very long time. And pretty sure these things have been killing since the 17 or maybe even 1600s. But nevertheless, these dogs prove that they're killers. They're killers. Killers of children. Killers of adults. Killers of their own owner. Of the own hands that feed them. And if a dog is capable of killing its owner, then all that love and feeding and whatever relationship you have with humans to dogs, it's meaningless. It's meaningless. But dog nuts will look at that as love, as friendship, as family. When in reality, it is meaningless. Dogs don't understand that crap. If they did, why, since the 1800s, have we been seeing maulings? Maulings. From then until now. Why? Oh, it's how you train it. It's not their nature. It's all these excuses. But the 1800s, mauling since the 1800s. Why are dog nuts, pit nuts not able to comprehend this? Why can't they comprehend that these dogs are unfit to be in society? These are times where laws and other things were very slack. Here we have restrictions, no resources. Didn't have YouTube for training videos, no TV, no none of that for how to train your worthless mind. There may have been some, yes, but it wasn't as, I would say, as reliable as now. Reliable, if that's the word. I would say no, it wasn't as popular as it is now though. Back then, a very slack. There was probably barely any dog rules at the time. People thought dogs were trash. In America, in some places, they would kill stray dogs instantly. They would drown dogs in the lake. But things changed. Things change in terms of society, of technology. But these dogs, though, remain the same. And that's a good saying. We've changed in technology. I'll say dog culture has changed in so-called, I guess, the resources. There's obviously more resources now than ever. There's a lot more trainers, a lot more dog liars. There's a lot more whatever now. But the pit bull and the dogs, they remain exactly the same as they did since the 1800s. So back then, I don't think they were saying blame the owner, blame the owner. These attacks were, those that were recorded, it happened rarely. I don't know if rarely is the right word. But as you can see, it happened with one attack. The next attack happened 3 years after, then a few years after. So these attacks weren't as common for those that were recorded, that is. But then when you compare it, to present day, these attacks happen quite frequently, nearly every day. These attacks happen nearly every day throughout the years, throughout the weeks, throughout the months. And I'm not sure when the first pit bull ban occurred, but it's as I was saying regarding banning and all that. Even though banning is pretty much useless, but it might have some pros but a lot of cons. Banning pit bulls probably does make people aware of how dangerous they are. We have news and radio and things like that where we can listen to attacks, where general dog nutters can be aware of attacks that happen. A lot of dog nuts have, experienced being attacked, or their other dog has been attacked by a pit bull or whatever. So people become aware. They tend to stay far away. When they're more aware, they tend to stay far away from them, for the most part. There are a lot of general dog nuts that hate pit bulls, that don't like pit bulls, that are aware of how dangerous they are. So when it's kind of weird talking about this because it's weird talking about this because here in Ontario, there's a supposedly a pit bull ban, but there are still pit bulls allowed to exist, and they're still attacking people. So it's really hard to really say. I really want to say banning works. I want to say banning works, but on first hand, it doesn't. But there's some aspects of having a ban that does work. You having a ban, shows that some people are actually aware of how vile pit bulls are. They're aware of bully breeds. They're aware of it. And some of them will keep away from them. Some of them don't even like them. So there's some pros with bans, but a lot of cons with it. So I think having these bans in place in many cities, province, states, countries, people are aware and they will tend to stay far away from these things for the most part. And that's why in shelters, shelters filled with, that's why, shelters are filled with so many pit bulls. And I think it's because people are more aware and they have, some experience with pit bulls to stay far away from them or to get rid of them or to abandon them. So we're more knowledgeable now. Despite being more knowledgeable, despite some dog nutters, staying away from these pit bulls, I think in a way we're better in a way, in a sense. But I feel like I'm contradicting myself. I want to say we're better now because we have the experience, we have the resources and the knowledge to know that pit bulls are dangerous. But at the same time, there are bans, but they do nothing. At the same time, a lot of attacks are still taking place. So it doesn't make sense, I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, it's just one too many for a very long time. And again, we remember some of these stories I have read before and I've spoken about. I remember their faces, remember their names for some of them. And I hope you never forget it as well. And hope you remember them. And this is not about the owners. This is about the innocents, about the children, about the bystanders that are getting attacked by these things. Some Reddit Reddit forums or subs, whatever you want to call these things, very informational regarding dogs. For instance, banned pit bulls. Very active. It's a very active group on Reddit that people will share their experiences, their tragedies. They will report the various news stories or things that they film. Like, for instance, for this, whether it's old or not, they filmed, yet again, a pit bull attacking a donkey. And I probably shouldn't have shown that. I did not know that was coming. I know I seen it before, but I just forgot it was coming. Talk about remember. But anyways, yeah. But they have videos like this on Reddit of pit bulls attacking. Some of them are gruesome like this. I'm not going to show, but I've seen on Reddit of pit bulls attacking a lady. It was horrible to watch. I couldn't watch it. I saw maybe 2 seconds of it, and I could not finish it. Couldn't do it. That's how vile and disgusting these dogs are. Couldn't do it. Posts like this. My pit bull terrier is 1 and 1.5 years old. I live in a apartment house, and she tried to bite my neighbor across the hall. This is why we have this. Remember. This is not just about the victim. These are people who are living in apartment complexes like this who are getting terrorized and attacked by dogs. This is about you too. And this dog bit the neighbor right in the face. What are good suggestions for an extremely aggressive dog? This is what we're dealing with, people. This is what we're dealing with. Yeah, pit bull escapes and attacks teenager in the middle of the street. So again, it's about worldwide, not just in the Americas, not just in the Canadas, not just in the UKs. This is about the South Americas. This is about those in Asia, Middle East, those in Australia, Oceania, all over the world. Again, pit bull attacks. Ironic that Peanut, the I guess squirrel, gets euthanized while thousands of pit bulls with a bite history reside in homes. That's so true. When natural animals attack, instantly they get put down. But when dogs attack or kill someone, they get 10 days of quarantine, get fed, and they're probably placed right back out into the public. And I don't think all of those that say that are euthanized, dogs that are euthanized, I don't think all of them do get euthanized. I think some of them get shipped off to wherever. That's what I think. But yeah, if you're interested, Banned Pit Bulls has a lot of good information, a lot of good posts. And I wish I can share them all, but there is so much that, it's hard to share all of them. But nevertheless, it's here. I'm not going to